Oh, man. Well, well, well. Let's do it. I got lost at the Renaissance Festival. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Not only did I get lost at the Renaissance Festival, there is a good chance that a Mexican dwarf, groped me or grabbed. Well, that's the whole thing. And what else? No, I think that might be the stream. That might be it. Oh, No Nut November is going well. You know what? I need more days like I had yesterday. I have that, then man, the whole No Nut November thing will be like, I won't even be worried about it. Because I'll just be like, yesterday was a lot of fun for me, not my wife, though. I might be living in the shed, okay? I might actually have to live in this shed for what happened. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It started off great, though, as these days, those days normally do. I would say it was kind of like a hangover situation. You know, like the movie, of course. I got lost. My buddy got lost. Couldn't find one another. Had no idea where my wife was. And there was no way they could call me because I didn't have my phone. And well, we knew that going there, as we're on 45 headed towards the Ren Fair, I was like, oh, man, I don't have my phone. My wife's like, well, I'm not going back. I was like, okay. Well, what that means is I'm going to be operating in the 90s. No phone. No way to message me. No way to get in contact with me at all. And you guys would be like, you know, current, you know, I guess current year or whatever. And so I was like, you know, if we get lost, we're just going to have to wing it and figure it out. And that's kind of the fun. Little did we know that's kind of what happened. Sort of. Sort of. Oh, man. Oh, it was so fun, though. I had a great time. I most certainly did. I know. I know I felt like death. Felt like I was dying earlier today. Early in the morning. But I got to say, the hangover recovery was very quick this time around. And you know what? It might be something with the No Nut November. You know, I used to think having to crank one out a couple times, maybe 3 times, would help me get over the hangover. But actually, semen retention is what helps you with the hangover. Okay? I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. But I'm someone who's doing it. Okay? I know there's some clowns that watch these streams, watch me, and they are convinced that I'm going to fail and I'm going to have to make sweet love to an onion. Well, that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm going to succeed on this because it's very easy. I literally have to do nothing, and you know, to succeed with this bet, with this contest of No Nut November. Okay, just I have to put no effort. It's great. So I should be able to win this. I should be able to do well. Okay. So back to the story. Yeah. It was an adult evening. The kids were at grandma's, as they should be. And we went there. It was like, it's going to be some edibles. It's going to be lots of booze and lots of fun. Well, it has started off amazing. We go over there on Barbarian Weekend. Oh, the view was nice too. Have you ever been? It's fun to look around. There's lots to see. Of course, and you're kind of there, right? I mean, you have eyes, you're looking around. Everyone is. You're just kind of enjoying it, just having a good time. Anyway, we go there. The first thing we hit up is like the bar area, which, by the way, there's pubs and stuff everywhere. But the ones near the front entrance and near the gazebo, we go there, and there's a dude who's giving out like tastings of mead and something called dragon's blood. It was a red wine, but it was so good. I don't normally do wine, but man, that was so good. But the guy was just handing out like the tastings. Like, he did not stop. He's like, here's one, here's a one. It's like, and I already tried it. Like, but he's like, here's another sample. So you don't look convinced. And he gave me more. I was like, you're right, I'm not convinced. Maybe with a third serving of the sample, I would be convinced. And so, man, that honestly could have just stayed there the whole day. But, all right, so that's how it's beginning. My buddy and I, we get a lot of samples. We go hit up the bar. We get a bottle of the relic mead. A bottle of the relic mead, and man, it was delicious. It was tasty. It was like, oh yeah, this is the stuff. This is what we need here. Now, they only give you a bottle per 2 people. I was wanting a bottle, and my buddy to have a bottle. We'd just walk around, Well, we had to share the bottle. I was like, man. So we kind of, maybe we should have paced ourselves, because like we went into it, I knew, like, the mentality was, since I wasn't driving, I'm not going to be the one driving home. Oh, I'm going to get messed up. I flat out told my buddy that. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get messed up here for sure. I ain't driving, so, and the kids aren't with us, so I mean, let's just have fun. Let's just enjoy it. That bottle went to another bottle. After the second bottle, we then started walking around some more, and my wife and my wife's friend, my buddy's wife, they got their drinks, but they didn't like them, so they gave them to us. I was like, okay. I didn't even know what that was, some sort of weird cider. It was not very good, but I drank it anyway. I'm not gonna pour it out. I'm gonna finish it, and it's gonna be fun. So I was like, 2 bottles of mead already. You got some random drink that my wife didn't like. Okay. And then after that, got more mead. And it got this stuff called Dungle and Dragons. Dungle and Dragons. It's like this very dark beer. It's kind of like it's like a bock. It's a bock, okay? It was really, really good. We got giant cups of that. It's crazy. They only give you 1 bottle per 2 people. But you can get the maximum 4 at a time with 2 people, like these tall cups of beer. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is great. So I'm walking around with dude, it must have been 40 ounces in each one. It was big. And I'm just like Edward 40 hands over here. Well, just, it was great. It was great. And I had no idea what was happening really at this point, drinking this much. I was like, okay, we're just walking around, talking to random people. Some of it were vendors. Some of it was people that are just there. We'd see something that no one wanted to see, like an old man, maybe in 75, maybe 80, wearing a loincloth. And I could tell that there was underwear underneath. I could tell because the loincloth did not cover much. Okay. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Everyone had a remark about that guy. Yeah. Pretty bad stuff. But yeah, man, we were just boozing, man. We're boozing, just having a good time, drinking. And, man. Now I think about it, I don't think my buddy and I, we partaked in any of the venues really. Oh, man, we got messed up. We got messed up way too quick. Oh, crap. That might explain why my wife is not so happy with me right now. That might explain why I'm living in the shed, possibly. Possibly. Wow. Not good. After the 2 big cups of Bach, after that, my wife was like, hey, they have a scotch tasting over there. It's like, okay, we'll go check that out. My buddy and I would go check that out. And we get like the tour of like 4 different scotches, whatever, to sample, right? And like, now I think about it, this is the part. Like, okay, I'm taking shots with him, right? I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, let's do it. And he poured his shots into my shot glasses because he was like, man, I already had enough. I'm good. It's like because I did see that because it was his birthday. He's also a veteran, so people could see that. And they were giving him free drinks. He got free shots. Like, thank you for your service. And boom, boom, boom. And he got like 3 shots in a row. Knock it back. Okay. Like, oh, that's cool. That's a nice perk. There was a point where like people were giving him money because it was his birthday. He had like a little thing. And I was like, well, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You're making money and you spend that money on booze. Okay. That's cool. That's pretty smart. That's a smart way to operate here. But so I had like 4 shots of scotch and then 2 that he gave me. I can't do math, but I think that's 6. I think that's a total of 6 there. Combined with more beer. Oh yeah, I think that's the part where it started going downhill. That's the part where, honestly, it's all like a blur. I don't even really properly remember. I do recall in the beginning, there was like this very short Mexican woman walking by. I was like, oh, I think there was a dwarf walking by. I think it was a dwarf cosplay. And she looked at me. I was like, oh, whatever. Okay. But walked up. I didn't think anything of it. I did not think anything of it. But she was there too. She walked by. She saw me. Luckily, my wife was not there. I think my wife would have a problem if she saw that dwarf, that Mexican dwarf, grab what she thought was going to be my penis. But I'm a grower, not a shower. So the Mexican dwarf was a little disappointed. It probably, oh man, dude, I didn't even care. It's like it happened. I was like, Mexican dwarf. Can't find my white dwarf. Go look for it. No. It happened. It went. I don't even remember what I said, honestly, there. But I do know this. I was still hanging around the Scotch tasting place. And there was a woman there. She was like the door woman. But like, come here and try our Scotch. And she would stop you if you had drinks and you had to set your drinks down. I was like, I'll set my drink down here. You're not going to roofie it, are you? I hope you do, maybe. No. I don't think that's what happened. I don't think I was roofied. I don't think so. Hopefully not. But I remember, like, she would say, or said her name was like, what? Ale. I was like, what? Nah, you look like a Brianna. You're a Brianna. Brianna, what do you do here? She was like, I'm pretty much just a doorman. I'm like, oh, no, you're more than a doorman. And I was acting like the vendor there. I was like a hype man for the vendor. I was like, when people walk by, I was like, try the king's finest Scotch. You, sir. I see people looking at it, be like, you can't handle the Scotch as they're walking away. Be like, you're weak. You can't outdrink me. I was trying. I was getting loud. Of course. Because I had no comprehension of what was going on and what I was really doing. I was just yelling loud. Did it work? Was it effective? Was I bringing people to the venue? I mean, people were coming around for sure. I mean, people did go in there. And I didn't even get paid for that. I was working at the Renaissance Festival for a little bit. All right? I was a hype man to the hype man. Look at that. Look at that stuff. But around this time, I blacked out, dude. I think I blacked out. Because I don't remember how I lost my buddy. I think around this time, my buddy wanted to go to the ATM for some reason. I think to get more kettle corn. And you had to use the cash for those guys. And he was like, where's the ATM? I remember like a vendor was like, it's over there. You might see 5 of them, but remember, it's the one in the middle, because it was quite clear that we were messed up. We were way beyond intoxicated, okay? We're just like wasted, okay? Level 10 wasted. So around that time, I know I went to the restroom and I came out. Oh, I came out. It was like a different world. I didn't even recognize where I was anymore. I was like, where am I? What's going on? I think my buddy went that way. Or he might have went that way. I have no idea. And I couldn't see. I mean, I could see, but it was like just hordes of people. Like all sorts of people. A huge crowd. And I was like, I have no idea where he went. And I don't have a phone, so I have no way to communicate with anybody about anything. So I'm just like, all right, well, this is what it is. I'm just going to head off in a direction and figure it out. And maybe I'll run into my wife. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I started walking around aimlessly. This big 6'3", 250-pound guy wearing these blue shades, lumbering around, intoxicated, like dude, I was not keeping my balance right. I had clearly that drunk walk. All right. I was trying very hard not to bump into anyone, trying very hard to be respectful, but at the same time, I didn't really care. I was like not even really there. I was like, man. Then my wife found me. Like from that point to, from that moment into the moment where my wife found me, it was like a big mystery to me. All I know is I never found my buddy. I did not know where Mike was at. I didn't know where. I didn't know. I lost him. I was lost. And I was like, in my mind, I was like feeling like it was gonna be like an odyssey to try to find where he is. And if I can, so I'll look around. Try to, because it was my job, my responsibility to keep track of him. I failed. I'm getting worked up to talk about it, I guess. Maybe that's just damage that all the drinking has done to my body. I'm thinking about now. Yeah. I could not find him. Could not. I would bob and weave and go through the crowd. Bob and weave. Dude, I was so drunk. I was like, yeah. I was like bumping into people. I'm sure I was. And then every time you would see cleavage, you're like, oh, got it. Hey, there's cleavage everywhere. I remember talking to people, getting very loud, and they're like, oh, you got to try the Dungle and Dragons. The Dungle and Dragons. Dungle and Dragons. I kept on walking around screaming, Dungle and Dragons. Relic mead. Be screaming that stuff. Man, I boozed too hard on that. I boozed too hard that night. Yesterday. No wonder my wife is banishing me to the shed. It all makes sense. And my buddy's wife was totally freaking out. You know what? I want to say I didn't find my wife. She found me. She must have heard my voice. I think it too, because I think I was telling people about Love Bites, one of my favorite bands from Japan. Okay, I was like, React and Chill, Love Bites, yeah, Baby Metal, yeah. I'm serious, man. Like I was gone. I was out of it. Okay, but like, and then I was like, Mike, where are you, buddy? Mike. When my wife found me, she looked at me right in the eyes. Of course, eyes. I mean, I'm like, I have the glasses on. It's getting dark. And I'm like, I cannot see. I cannot really see, man. Everything's like a blur, dude. It was like crazy. And she just sat me down. I felt like, looking back, it was like I was in trouble. I was grounded. My wife grounded me. She's like, sit down. You need water. Oh, by the way, I guess I planned to get even more effed up, and I did not achieve that level, because one of the things I did is we brought bottles of water. Except my bottle of water wasn't even water; it was full on rum. It was rum ready to go, in case I wanted to. Or I didn't even know why, because what I was gonna get a soda and just dump the rum into the soda. I mean, maybe that was the plan. But when my buddy was like paying for most of it, I was like, well, okay. And I tried. I was like, man, it's your birthday. Let me pay for you. I paid for the first bottle. And he's like, no, man, I got you. And then every time he was like, no, man, I got you. I was like, what the hell, dude? What the hell? It's your birthday, man. Okay? You're the birthday guy. And you're spending your money like crazy. My wife is like, you're done walking. You need to sit. If you stand, you start falling. And I was like leaning into a tree. And it was like, you sit, you stay. So for the rest of that night, I was pretty much I was grounded. And my buddy's wife was pretty much assigned to watch me, pretty much. So that I don't go anywhere. So, wow. My wife had to tard wrangle me. I essentially became the tard of the Renaissance Festival, I think. I mean, a very special degree of stupid was my situation. Was I, for sure. After that, I want to say that was it. That was not it. I was supposed to watch the crowd, and crowds of people were walking by. By the way, my wife wanted to watch the fireworks with me. She wanted to have a very pleasant, fun evening. She knew I was going to get messed up. But she did not, no way did she want me to get that messed up that fast. I blame the shots, man. I blame the shots. That was way too much. That was way too much. God dang it. Just not happening that, not doing that again. But we would sit there. We're sitting there for like, I want to say like my wife says I was sitting there for the rest of the evening and it was like hours. For me, it felt like 30 minutes. But, time was all messed up to me. I was having a good time in my head, okay? And watching all these people as they walk by, I was like, that's not Mike. That's not my buddy. That's not my buddy, And I would say his name. And I told my buddy's wife, I was like, hey, it'll be fine. We'll see him. Don't worry. He'll come around eventually, trying to assure her or whatever. We still didn't find him. It was like, I think 8 o'clock. And we were outside at that point, outside the gates, waiting to see if Mike will eventually show up there. when we finally find him, it was my wife who found him. She was like, he was sleeping on a bench. He passed out on a bench. It became the Renaissance bum. Okay? Like, apparently, he was looking for food, and there was like he must have went to the Italian section because he got some pizza or whatever. Which that sounds pretty good, actually. And but he found a place and he just knocked out. Pretty bad. I have a theory too that I'm thinking my buddy did this on purpose. My buddy gave me his extra shots, and knowing I was gonna say yes, knowing that I have no impulse control, which is like a huge problem for me. So I would take the shots and I'll be knocked out. So I'm no longer watching him. So if I can't watch where he's going, he can go wander off and make a life at the Renaissance Festival, become the Renaissance bum and live there. And that way he doesn't have to live with his wife and deal with responsibilities, just escape it all, That's what I think. Because he was having a really, really good time. Really good time. He was talking to everyone. Like, really into it. And just throwing money around. Like, here you go. Here's a 20. I was like, that wasn't even a vendor. That was a random person you just gave $20 to. It's your birthday, right? They're supposed to be giving you money. The karma works in certain ways, right? Because I told you, he did get some money. He did. That did happen. So maybe he felt like so generous, because he was being gifted with so much money just for being there and being a birthday boy there, and he just wanted to I guess share the wealth. That's nice. Was it my first? No, this is not my first Ren Fair. It was my first Ren Fair to this degree. Like, I've gone many times. Many times. And I like going. It's very fun. I think this time got way too messed up, way too early. And it was like, why? Why did I have to do that? Another reason why I'm probably going to be living in this shed is because I did puke. But I don't think any of it got in the car. It was my wife's car. We were leaving, and I guess thank the Lord, thank God, that it takes forever to get out of the parking lot because we're just there. The car was on. We're just waiting. I was like, oh my God. I just opened the door. I was still strapped in the seatbelt. I just remember I was looking down on the ground. My feet were kind of dangling. I was like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Projectile vomiting onto the ground. Or someone said, Jesse, what? I was projectile vomiting. Bleh. Miserable. Disgusting. And I was like, oh man, I did it this time. I really did it this time. For sure. By the way, my boots that I was wearing that day looked like I was walking in mud. No, but I didn't walk in any mud. There wasn't any mud. There wasn't any water on the ground. I think I vomited on my boots. So, like, I could show you a picture, a community post. I'll take a picture of it and show you. It looks nasty. If you didn't know, though, you would think it was mud. So, I should really clean them. like immediately. So, and then the ride home, all that was just bad. It was one of those rides where it was like, I just need to shut up. But I was trying to explain the situation. I was trying to be like, oh man, I lost Mike. And they're like, yeah, it was your responsibility to watch him. I was like, oh man, and Mike was passed out. All right. I was like, I didn't know you guys were serious. You really wanted me to watch him. And like, I went to go use the restroom. He was at an ATM. Next thing I know, the world had changed. I tried to explain that. My wife was not amused by that. My wife's friend was not amused by that. So I was like, man. But being that drunk, you know, you don't listen. You just ramble. You just talk. You just talk. So, the last thing I could say is when I got home, this might be TMI. A lot of this was probably TMI. I took like one of those big shits, you know, just a big dump of a shit. But it smelled like the honey mead, the relic, which was very tasty. But that was not the smell you wanted, man. you don't want it to, like, I'm like, oh God, it smells awful. It smells awful. It smells like hot honey. I don't like it, hot honey through a butthole, dude. It smelled nasty. I was like, no. Oh God, I cannot take this. And I knew it was all gonna be bad. It was all bad. But I gotta say, man, I know I woke up, I felt like death, but recovered very quickly, and I think it's because of the No Nut November. Okay? And I know I've been doing daily posts of the No Nut November. Hey, I'm serious about that. I mean, I'm putting a spirit above the flesh, okay? Is what I want to put it. Do I want to jerk off and release all this backed up semen? I definitely do. I definitely do. I have dump truck loads of semen in me. Gotta speak in old English the whole time. Drunk old English, like I was trying, but I don't know old English, you know. I'm just like, I just say the phrase, "Does thou seek the king's mead?" or something like that. I would be like, well, that I'd scream Dungle Dragons, praising it. High respects to the king for the Dungle and Dragons. Yeah, stuff like that. It was pretty bad though. So I'm either gonna be living here in this shed, or probably gonna have to like really clean the house or something, you know, do like something to like, you know, is it called like retribution? You know, just pay penance. You know, it's I messed up that night. I really messed up. I did, and I confess to that. I don't have no problem. You know, the blame game people like to play a lot. They'll blame everyone but themselves. I know I messed up. Oh man. But did the Mexican dwarf? I think it's a dwarf. Might have been a midget. I'm not sure. Might have just been a Mexican woman, honestly. But did she really grope me? Did that really happen, dude? A lot of crazy things happened. A lot of wild things. Oh man, pretty wild night though. Wild day. So that's all I really have to share here with you guys. I don't know if you guys ever got that wasted before. Typically, generally, whenever we do that, it's like, you know, I don't want to do that again. But kind of want to. Oh, yeah, the hangover was pretty bad. Eat anything good? Yeah. My wife got one of those Vietnamese sandwiches, you know. I don't know what you call them. But that was actually really good. That was probably like the better deal. I mean, for the price for a meat on the stick, with $14, you might as well just get one of those pork bun things. It wasn't. I don't know what you call this, but it came with a side of chips and stuff. I was like, oh, this is good. That's tasty. So my wife got that. So I was eating my wife's meat. So yeah, and I was saying that out loud. And I was like, does me lady want a man to eat her meat? It's like that's when my wife knew what sort of level of fucked up I was gonna get. Oh, and which was so weird. As I was saying that, there was I felt like there was an audience behind me, because there literally was. Like, we were behind this tent, and the people in the tent was like talking to us. At first I was like, am I hearing voices? And they're like, no, you're not hearing voices. Like, yeah, go get another bottle. You need another bottle of relic mead. I was like, if the king wills it, I shall get another bottle of relic mead. It was bad. That's what they noticed there. Like, I guess they know everyone's gonna get so shit-faced drunk that it's gonna happen. When you order a bottle, they'll ask you, "Are you staying here and drinking this?" Be like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I mean, where else am I gonna go? Home? It took hours to get here. All right. After 30, I would have died the next day. Yeah. A banh mi? Yeah, banh mi. Yeah, that was good. That was real good. But because I got so wasted so quick, I'll say I did botch on like being able to really enjoy the shows and all that. And it's been years since I've been there, so I'm pretty sure things have changed. I don't know if they still have what was it, dead bones or dry bones? It was like a puppet thing. I remember like that was pretty funny. The insult comic, I think in the Greek section, was normally pretty funny. I don't know. I don't know if he was still there. I missed the belly dancers. I missed everything because I wanted to get so wasted. Did I have a good time? Oh yeah, I was having a great time. But then it led to a situation where my wife had to essentially take care of two adult babies. Okay, it's kind of funny. You drink yourself so stupid, you have the cognitive capability of a 1-year-old. All right. Oh. I was drinking for sure. Yeah. Well. Whew. I didn't even get to see the jousting, which, you know, I used to go very frequent, and I would be like, it's like the same on that. I don't know if they changed it, but I was like, it's weird. Every time I watch it, the same horse guy wins. Every time. I don't watch it all the time, but the few times I've seen it, it's like the same outcome. It's like, wow, interesting about that. Anyway, I wanted to share this with you guys. I want to stream on this channel on Sundays. Didn't have anything real planned for it. Not a talk or a lecture about how to maximize your manness. Okay. Can you buy this stuff in stores or online? With the relic mead, I think you can. Dungle and Dragons, I think you can too. I'm not sure where though. If any place has it, it's going to be Total Wines. Total Wines or Specs. If Specs doesn't have it, Total Wines might. All right. Now, I know this kind of a short stream. It's like maybe not even an hour. Might wrap this up here. I'm pretty hungry. I don't want to eat on stream. I'm gonna sneak into the house. No, you know what? No. That's a beta way of doing that. No, I'm a man. I'm gonna go into the house, look my wife in the eyes, be like, I know I messed up. And be like, I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm sorry I let you down. And I'll make it up to her. That's what you do. That's what you do as a man. There you go. We could rope in I guess I'm going on a Jordan Peterson here. All right. There's a life tip for you. Okay. You don't run away from your problems. Your wife is angry, is upset, disappointed, sees you as a failure. It's all in your head. Well, the extreme version of that's probably in your head. Okay. She knows you messed up. People mess up. Whatever. You can make it up to her. That's what you do. You carry on, man. So, that's it. Well, with that said, you guys have a good one. Hey, CE, thanks for listening to me ramble. And, man, you have a good one. I'll continue to stream on Sundays around this time. Hopefully longer streams and more, different topics, whatever happens. But, yeah, with that said, you guys, you take it easy, man. You take it easy and have a good one.